Most people believe that building muscle after 60 is almost impossible. They think it requires expensive supplements, intense workouts, or perfect genetics. But what if I told you that scientists recently analyzed over 3,000 common breakfast foods and discovered that only 8 of them actually support muscle maintenance in older adults? And here's the shocking part: eggs didn't make the list. For decades, we've been told that eggs are the ultimate protein food. But new research suggests that after a certain age, the body responds very differently to protein than it did in your 30s or 40s. In fact, many people over 60 are eating what they believe are healthy breakfasts, and unknowingly making muscle loss worse. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why that happens, what researchers discovered about aging muscles, and the 8 breakfast foods that actually help preserve strength, balance, and independence as we get older. One of these foods increased muscle protein activity by nearly 50% in clinical testing. Another surprised researchers so much, they repeated the study 3 times just to confirm the results. And before we get into the list, I need to explain something very important, because without understanding this, even the best foods won't help. Why muscle loss accelerates after 60. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people never hear at the doctor's office. Starting around age 30, the body slowly begins to lose muscle mass, but after 60, that process speeds up dramatically. Research published in major medical journals shows that adults over 60 can lose up to 3% of muscle per year if nothing is done to counteract it. By the time someone reaches their 70s or 80s, that loss can become severe enough to affect balance, mobility, and independence. This isn't just about appearance or strength. Muscle loss is strongly linked to falls, fractures, and difficulty performing everyday tasks. And here's the key problem most people never hear about. As we age, our muscles become what scientists call anabolically resistant. That means your body doesn't respond to protein the way it used to. You can eat the same foods you always have, eggs, toast, even protein shakes, and your muscles may barely respond at all. It's not that protein stops working. It's that your body now requires specific signals to activate muscle building, and one of the most important of those signals is an amino acid called leucine. Why leucine matters more than total protein. Leucine is often called the on switch for muscle growth. Without enough of it, your body simply doesn't start the muscle building process, no matter how much protein you eat. Researchers at several universities discovered that older adults need at least 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine per meal just to activate muscle protein synthesis. Below that threshold, the body essentially ignores the protein. That's why so many seniors eat what they believe is a protein-rich breakfast and still continue losing muscle. This is also why many protein powders and supplements quietly fail. They don't deliver the right amino acid profile. The good news? Certain whole foods naturally meet this threshold. They're affordable, easy to find, and far more effective than most powders. And that brings us to the first food on the list. Food number 1, Greek yogurt. Not just any yogurt, Greek yogurt. This is one of the most reliable, affordable muscle-supporting foods available. One single cup provides roughly 17 to 20 grams of protein, along with around 2.5 grams of leucine, enough to trigger muscle protein synthesis on its own. But the real magic lies in how that protein is delivered. Greek yogurt contains 2 types of protein: whey, which is fast digesting and reaches your muscles quickly; casein, which digests slowly and feeds your muscles for hours. Think of it as immediate support plus long-term nourishment. Researchers have shown that consuming casein before sleep can support muscle maintenance overnight, almost like having a slow, steady drip of nutrition while you rest. And there's more. Greek yogurt also provides calcium for bone strength, probiotics for digestion, and B vitamins that support energy metabolism, all for roughly $1 to $2 per serving. However, and this is important, many people unknowingly cancel out these benefits. The mistake? Choosing flavored versions loaded with added sugar. Those sugars can interfere with muscle recovery and blood sugar control. The simple fix: choose plain Greek yogurt and add your own fruit cinnamon or a drizzle of honey. Now keep listening, because food number 2 is even more powerful for overnight muscle repair. Food number 2, cottage cheese. If you've avoided cottage cheese because of texture or taste, this may change your mind. Cottage cheese is one of the most effective overnight muscle-supporting foods available, especially for people over 60. 1 cup provides around 28 grams of protein, including more than 2.5 grams of leucine, which again meets that crucial activation threshold. But what truly sets cottage cheese apart is how long it feeds your muscles. About 80% of its protein is casein, the slow-digesting kind. Studies show that amino acids from cottage cheese can remain available in the bloodstream for 6 to 7 hours after eating. That means while you sleep, your muscles are still being nourished instead of breaking down. Researchers studying older adults found that consuming cottage cheese before bed supported muscle recovery just as effectively as expensive protein supplements. And it's incredibly versatile. If the texture bothers you, blend it into a smoothie with berries, or mix it with herbs and use it as a savory spread. It's affordable, filling, and remarkably effective. Now, the next 2 foods often surprise people, especially those who think breakfast must always be sweet. Because food number 3 challenges one of the biggest breakfast myths there is. Yes, sardines. And before you scroll past this, hear me out. 1 small can of sardines contains around 23 grams of high-quality protein, more than 3 eggs, and delivers something many seniors are unknowingly deficient in: omega-3 fatty acids. Here's why that matters. As we age, chronic low-grade inflammation becomes one of the biggest enemies of muscle tissue. It interferes with recovery, weakens muscle fibers, and makes it harder for protein to do its job. Omega-3s help calm that inflammation. In fact, a large review published in Nutrients found that older adults who consumed sufficient omega-3s showed measurable improvements in muscle strength and function, even without changing exercise habits. That's powerful. Sardines also contain vitamin D, calcium, and B12, nutrients critical for muscle contraction, nerve signaling, and balance. And unlike many larger fish, sardines are very low in mercury. That's why health organizations consistently rank them as one of the safest seafood options. A simple way to eat them: mash sardines with olive oil and lemon on whole grain toast, or mix them into scrambled eggs. They're far more mild in flavor than most people expect. And best of all, they're affordable. A single can often costs less than $2. Now, food number 4 may surprise you even more, because it's something many people think of as just carbs. Food number 4, oatmeal. Most people assume oatmeal is only good for heart health or digestion, but research tells a much deeper story. Oats contain a special type of fiber called beta-glucan, and scientists have discovered that beta-glucan does more than support cholesterol. It also plays a role in muscle function. In studies involving older adults, beta-glucan supplementation was linked to improvements in strength and physical performance. Why? Because it helps reduce inflammation and improves how muscles respond to nutrients. But here's the key: oatmeal works best when paired with protein. On its own, oats contain only about 5 to 6 grams of protein per serving. But when combined with Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, something powerful happens. The slow-digesting carbohydrates help shuttle amino acids into muscle tissue more efficiently, In simple terms, your muscles absorb and use protein better. That's why a bowl of oatmeal topped with Greek yogurt or cottage cheese is far more effective than either food alone. And unlike many processed breakfasts, oats are inexpensive, filling, and easy to prepare. Now, before we move on, I need to point out a common mistake people make with oatmeal. Flavored packets often contain large amounts of added sugar, sometimes more than a donut. Those sugar spikes can interfere with muscle recovery. Stick to plain oats and add fruit or cinnamon yourself. Now, what comes next is where things get truly interesting, because food number 5 completely changed how scientists think about plant-based protein. Food number 5, hemp seeds. This is the one that surprised researchers the most. Hemp seeds are one of the very few plant foods that provide all 9 essential amino acids in a highly digestible form. That alone makes them rare. But what makes them especially valuable for older adults is how efficiently the body absorbs them. Studies show that hemp protein has a digestibility rate of up to 98%, meaning your body can actually use nearly everything you eat. Just 3 tablespoons provide around 10 grams of protein, along with a near-perfect balance of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids. That balance is critical for reducing inflammation and supporting muscle recovery. Hemp seeds also contain all 3 branched-chain amino acids, leucine, isoleucine, and valine, which work together to stimulate muscle repair, and they do it gently without stressing digestion. You can sprinkle hemp seeds over oatmeal, yogurt, or salads. They have a mild, nutty taste and blend easily into almost anything. A single bag lasts weeks, making them one of the most cost-effective additions you can make. At this point, we've covered 5 foods that already outperform many expensive supplements. But the next 2 might challenge what you think you know about plant-based protein and even gut health, because food number 6 does something unique inside your body. Now let's move to the foods that surprise most people, the ones few expect to support muscle strength after 60. Food number 6, tempeh. If you've never tried tempeh before, you're not alone. But this fermented food may be one of the most underrated options for maintaining muscle as we age. Tempeh is made from whole fermented soybeans, which gives it a very different nutritional profile compared to most plant-based foods. The fermentation process breaks down compounds that normally interfere with digestion, making the protein far easier for your body to absorb. A single serving of tempeh provides about 16 to 18 grams of complete protein, including all essential amino acids. But what makes it especially valuable for older adults is the way fermentation supports gut health. Researchers have discovered a strong connection between gut health and muscle maintenance, often referred to as the gut-muscle axis. A healthier gut environment helps your body use protein more efficiently and reduces low-grade inflammation that contributes to muscle loss. Tempeh also contains important minerals like magnesium, phosphorus, and manganese, all of which support muscle contraction and bone strength. It has a mild, nutty flavor and can be lightly pan-seared, baked, or added to vegetable dishes. For many people, it becomes a surprisingly easy addition to their weekly meals. Food number 7, quinoa. Quinoa is often called a grain, but technically it's a seed, and a very special one. Unlike most plant foods, quinoa contains all 9 essential amino acids, making it a complete protein. This alone makes it valuable for older adults, but there's more. 1 cup of cooked quinoa provides around 8 grams of protein, along with fiber, magnesium, iron, and antioxidants that support energy and muscle function. Research shows that quinoa's protein has a high biological value, meaning your body can actually use it efficiently instead of breaking it down and wasting it. It's also naturally gluten-free and gentle on digestion, which is important as digestion often becomes more sensitive with age. Quinoa can be prepared like oatmeal for breakfast, mixed with fruit and nuts, or served warm with vegetables and eggs. It's affordable, versatile, and one of the easiest ways to increase high-quality protein intake without relying on supplements. Food number 8. Spirulina. Now we come to the most surprising food on the list. Spirulina is a blue-green algae that has been studied extensively for its nutritional density. By weight, spirulina is made up of 60 to 70% protein, which is higher than almost any natural food source. But quantity isn't the only reason it stands out. Spirulina contains all essential amino acids and is especially rich in antioxidants that help reduce inflammation, a key factor in age-related muscle decline. Studies show that spirulina supplementation can help improve muscle endurance, reduce exercise-related muscle damage, and support recovery. It also contains a powerful compound called phycocyanin, which helps protect muscle tissue from oxidative stress. The best part? You only need a small amount. 1 teaspoon per day is enough to provide benefits. It can be mixed into smoothies, yogurt, or even oatmeal. When combined with fruit, the flavor is barely noticeable. Part 4. Putting it all together. Now that you've seen all 8 foods, the question becomes simple. How do you actually use this information in daily life? Let's make it easy. You don't need to eat all 8 foods every day. You just need consistency and smart combinations. Here's a simple, realistic weekly approach. Monday, Greek yogurt with berries and hemp seeds. Tuesday, oatmeal with Greek yogurt and a sprinkle of nuts. Wednesday, sardines on whole grain toast with olive oil. Thursday, cottage cheese with cinnamon and fruit. Friday, quinoa with vegetables and an egg. Saturday, tempeh sautéed with vegetables sundae, smoothie with banana, Greek yogurt, and a small amount of spirulina. This kind of rotation provides complete protein coverage, supports digestion, and helps maintain muscle strength throughout the week. One final insight. The biggest mistake many people make is thinking they need to completely change their diet overnight. You don't. Even adding one of these foods to your morning routine can make a measurable difference over time. Muscle loss is not inevitable with age. It's often a result of missing signals, not missing effort. When you give your body the right building blocks, it responds. Closing thought. If you're watching this and thinking, I want to stay strong, independent, and active for as long as possible, you're already on the right path. Start small. Stay consistent. And remember, strength after 60 isn't about pushing harder. It's about supporting your body smarter. In the next video, I'll show you which common breakfast foods actually work against your muscles and why so many people eat them every single morning without realizing the damage. I'll see you there.